Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT Roster Mania, another dramatic day in the VALORANT world. It's got to be said for many different reasons that we shall dive into, but also Zombs potentially revealing that Marved indeed does not have any key offers in the North American side. He denied that statement, Marved, a couple of days ago, but especially considering the Sentinels situation, NRG, and now Evil Geniuses may be moving in a new direction. Where might Marved end up, if anywhere at all? Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Gained so many new subs yesterday as well, as per usual at this point, so thank you honestly so much for the support the last few days. Firstly, game changers. There's never a dull day in the Valorant game changer side, even if it's kind of a slowish day. For the main scene, DRX seemingly here bringing in a game changers roster, which is pretty cool. Now, this was going on last night, so okay, generally the VCT season is over, but game changers is ongoing. There was a match yesterday, CLG Red versus EQ Cerise, I guess, is kind of their game changers team. And Yeji says here from, well, basically there was all this drama going on, and well, she says maybe next time keep up the good work. Basically roasting CLG Red for losing. Now, it turns out EQ then got disqualified from this match because one of their players was cheating. This is like such a remarkable situation, and even as is in the replies, it maybe next time, little bro, because turns out the team got disqualified as is described here in the VCT competitive ruling. After Saturday's Game Changers Open qualifier between EQ Cerise and CLG Red, Riot's anti-cheat team identified a positive case of a prohibited third-party tool usage by a player on EQ. Therefore, EQ is disqualified and CLG Red will be advanced in the tournament. Further details will be provided going forwards. Like, honestly, it's just madness. So it was a crazy situation, really. So they had a last-minute substitute, I believe. And, I mean, yeah, so eventually, like, CLG Red goes through. So, like, crazy series. But, yeah, I believe it was this dyslexic player, possibly, who was on the chamber here, who top-fragged game 1 but lost. Game 2 was, like, a kind of middle frag, 18 frags, and they won. And then game 3, they won as well, 13-8, with a kind of the player bottom fragging. So, yeah, interesting set of circumstances here, to be honest. And even Chloe says from CLG, maybe next time, make sure to buy better cheats. So, I mean, absolutely just fantastic content, to be honest. And even this came out from the EQ side as well. There was some situation where, like, they had to get a substitute for a player that sent some sort of meme. I don't know the full context behind this. You guys may have seen the entire saga. I just thought I'd try to break it down as best as I can. They got a substitute in. The substitute then got banned on their Smurf. So, I don't know if they were actually necessarily using cheats in that specific game, but like, well, maybe the substitute player did have cheats on another account, and therefore, because the Smurf got banned, they got banned at the same time, DQ'd from tourney all in the same day. So, honestly, madness. And Amber went on to say this, and say the following: I'm going on record to flat out deny this. Our game against CLG was extremely close. The player in question, who allegedly was using third-party software, was bottom fragging that map. If it does come out my teammate was cheating, that sucks. We would have won the match anyways. It's like such an outrageous thing to say if your teammate was cheating. Like, we just would have won the game anyway. Like, absolutely just hilarious stuff, I can't lie. If your teammate's cheating, like, unlucky, you get forfeited, that's how it is. And yes, maybe they were a substitute or whatever, so unfortunate set of circumstances you weren't aware, but like, look, if your teammate was cheating, it's GG, you get forfeited. It's not exactly a new situation here. So just thought that was kind of funny, to be honest, to try and break down for you guys. Like, Game Changers is actually madness. Now let's talk about the main partnership league here. So Koi, this is their team. They are also building a massively stacked team for next season, right? A lot of these organizations are trying to do this. The super team that is going around all across the park, everyone wants to call their team a super team right now. Cloud9, you know, obviously Sentinels are trying to do their best on that front as well, as we saw yesterday. And Fnatic as well, bringing in Chronicle. They're trying their best. Na'Vi, FPX plus cNed. Like, there are a lot of good teams being formed. Even NRG, you could argue, could qualify. Maybe it would be if Marved was there. We'll discuss that in a second. But Koi, Starkso, Coldamenta, Shados, and head coach Barbar coming in. That is their roster for now. The entire team remains incomplete, but yeah, Shados, formerly of Gambit, the mech team, like, that's certainly an exciting prospect as well. Really going to be cool to see how those guys split up, because we believe that Nats and Redgo are going to go to Liquid as it stands, so they're also trying to build a big name squad. Like, yeah, a lot of these European teams are going to be deadly next season, or at least on paper they're going to be deadly. Whether they work in practice, that's another question, especially with, you know, language and culture in the European scene can be difficult to mesh across certain international teams in the history of FPS FPS esports. Now, Killers here says this from Giants: while I'm still being contracted to Giants, they have allowed me to explore options, so he's looking for potential opportunities elsewhere as well. And this quick from Lembo: Leek Melser, former player from Leviathan, has reached an agreement with Crew. They're going to bring in, of course, Zand, we saw, Nagzet, Klaus, and Zand as well. The Chilean player joins that team. So interesting stuff, to be honest. I thought that they were maybe going to go for like a Brazilian team, Crew, but now they are indeed kind of going for a more like a multinational South American team yet again. So yeah, they're building some interesting rosters. It's rostermania chaos all across the park right now, and the North American scene is still arguably the most chaotic. And I wanted to mention some confirmations here coming out from Team RRQ from the APAC region. They have confirmed certain players. To be honest, I don't know much about these players. If you guys know a lot about the region, I'll just kind of run through what they have said so far. Their second player is Nexi to the team. Welcome Nexi to the roster. There has been some controversy about this, I think, actually, in terms of the nationalities of some of their players. They bring in this guy EJ. I know people were roasting this guy in the replies because, like, yes, Kopi says here, like, Indonesian esports team bringing in a Filipino player, like, it's certainly raised a bit of questions on certain fans in the organization. And I think even they found like a screenshot here where he went 0-13 or something. So he dropped a donut in a game here against Boom. So, you know, people are immediately going to say, is this really a good pickup, right? So it's a bit of an interesting one, but that's what they've done so far. They also confirmed their third player, 2GE. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this stuff, but yeah, we do have some confirmations from certain teams all around the world right now, and that is the roster that they are building. Let's talk then about the North American side and where Marved may or may not potentially end up. We saw a few days ago that George Geddes said that, like, look, the Sentinels Marved thing is not happening, and then he was kind of implying that Marved doesn't really have too many options right now in the North American side. Marved came out on stream, as we saw, saying, look, George Geddes, he's brain dead, doesn't know what he's talking about. I've got offers, I've got opportunities on the table. But, you know, as it now stands, where are the opportunities in the North American scene? They are certainly few and far between. Sentinels, we know what their plan is. They are bringing in, of course, zyppan, Dephh, but also the Brazilian guys. We saw Sassy, Pancada, in addition to TenZ. That's their roster of 5. Pancada is going to be the controller there, so where does Marved go? Well, obviously, we don't know. He's not going to go to Cloud9. That team is set in stone, we believe, with the original trio, Leaf, Vanity, Zeppa, plus the 2 new guys, Zell says, and of course, Ye coming in. 100 Thieves, he's not going to go there, Marved. We did talk about, okay, minus Bang plus Marved, is that a possibility? So then NRG could make the most sense, with Som being there now in that kind of smoke roll instead of Marved. And why would Marved not join if he could and had an offer to do so? That's obviously a big question mark, but apparently Som is indeed going to be the 5th. I think George Geddes has kind of said, like, look, Som is the 5th. That is pretty much set in stone, and that is the case. So that leaves only Evil Geniuses, where Marved said he's not going to go. So what does that mean? Does Marved have no offers? Is he going to have to step away? Zombs implies here that indeed, yes, Marved might not have any offers, and he reckons that it's actually a personal decision for Marved to either step away or wherever he decides to go.
What up, Havoc? Marv not getting signed is a travesty. I mean, that's like a personal choice, though. I don't know if he wanted to get signed. Oh, that'll be something for him to answer.
So to be honest, I am kind of confused about this whole thing. Like, I still feel like there might be a world in which he ends up on NRG and Som is on the bench or something, but people have been saying that, like, no, Som's going to stay. He's going to be their smokes player and Marved is not going to be there. He himself denied EG. No, like, he might still join EG, who knows? If that's his best offer and that's the best money he can get, then fair enough. But also there is the question, like, you know, will Marved go to another region? And also, can he compete in general? Just because there have been some questions even being raised before Champions that the whole match fixing allegations in the past, even, you know, Shroud talked about this at quite some length on stream during, or at least the LCQ, like before Champions or whatever, maybe even during the early part of Champions, that OpTic were going to break up after Champions, and he said that part of that was to do with Marved maybe not, like, being allowed to be signed, or some sort of agreement between teams to not sign players that have these prior max fixing allegations, even if they're not proven or anything. Marved might not have got the offers from certain teams he wanted to, maybe because of those reasons, I don't know, but just seems really strange why the entire OpTic core is going to NRG minus Ye plus Artis, but Marved is not going to be joining them. Like, you'd think the only reason why he would do that is unless he gets a crazy good offer elsewhere. Similar, you could argue, to what's going on with Loud. Like, we were kind of thinking maybe that team will try and stay together even if on a new organization, but Sassy and Pancada got great offers from Sentinels. They've gone there. Similar story with the former FPX team, gone to Na'Vi, but of course Artis gets the great offer to go and play with the OpTic core, and he's like, well, yeah, I'll take that opportunity, go to North America, make it work with with FNS and those guys, like that's a sensible move. For Marved, it's like, well, you know, if you could have gone with the OpTic guys, but you decided not to, then surely you'd only do that if you had like a mega good offer somewhere else, which we thought initially could have been Sentinels, and now that's clearly not the case. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? I mean, Zombs gets asked the question, and the way he said it makes it sound like he knows or thinks or has good reason to believe that indeed Marv doesn't really have the opportunities, and if he does, then it's his own call to effectively turn them down. So yeah, definitely intrigued your perspective on this. Will he end up on a South American team? Could he even go to the European region? Or is Marv gonna be a content creator for the upcoming season, which would be a crazy timeline after what's happened before? And I can't imagine that's his own decision, right? I can't imagine that he would voluntarily decide to not play on a team if he has offers on the table, unless he has the EG offer and maybe that's his only good offer, and then he has to make the call as to whether he goes there or not. And speaking of EG, actually, I thought this was worth mentioning just quickly, because BCJ was streaming today with Exalted, Zeltis, but also Jorgamer, of course, also of the, well, the Evil Geniuses roster. We believe certainly one of the players that will be staying on that team, 100% guaranteed. So yeah, BCJ to Evil Geniuses is probably looking marginally more likely over time. I'd love to see it personally. I think it makes a lot of sense for many different reasons, but yeah, BCJ, keep an eye on. And of course, if he's going there and other spots are getting taken as well, Com, Busio might be staying. How many spots are there left for Marved? It's kind of tough to figure that one out, and even Zeltis kind of joking around here about the Sentinel situation. But yeah, Zelsis Cloud9, we believe, is practically a guarantee over the coming days and weeks. I don't really know when we might start to get confirmations, because 100 Thieves, we think we know what they're doing at Cloud9, the same boat, Sentinels as well. Not sure quite how long it's going to take for some organizations to be like, yeah, okay, look, this is our roster, this is what we're going with, but probably over the coming days, and certainly within a week or two, we'll get some confirmations from these teams. But very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.